All right, everyone, I hope you're having a great day. I want to talk about business entities because I'm seeing some confusion between the legal and the tax classifications. And the latest question I got was, I'm an S-Corp, I want to upgrade to an LLC. Well, that's not completely correct. And so I want to help fix that. And so today I'm going to do a simple video. I'm going to focus just on individuals. I'm not going to focus on corporations or partnerships. We're going to keep it simple. Before I go any further, if you enjoy my content, there are 3 things I would love for you to do. Number 1, subscribe to my channel. Number 2, like my video. And number 3, share it with your friends. Who doesn't want to learn? So let's talk about business entities. 2 components that you have to look at, and they're separate. We're going to talk about legal and tax. On the legal side, you can be a sole proprietor where you literally just decide, hey, I'm going to go in business, I'm going to do whatever. The issue generally with that people have is that your personal assets are subject to creditors. Like if you hire an employee and they go mess up, damage the property, they could sue you and take your house, your money, your personal assets. Whereas with a single member limited liability company, which is what an LLC stands for, what people do is they you usually register with your Secretary of State, and it can help provide some liability protection because they can only come after your assets. Like if you're that same situation, like where an employee damages property, they can only come after the assets of the LLC. They cannot come after your personal assets. This assumes that you follow all the rules and that you keep proper accounting of your books and records, and you keep separate books. If you use an LLC like your personal bank account, a lot of times it is like the LLC didn't even exist. So be careful when you do this. Seek legal counsel if you have questions. So these are the 2 that you can be legally. And again, you could also be a corporation, but I'm not talking about corporations or partnerships today. We're going to keep it simple. So this is the legal side. On the tax, there are 3 options. Again, let's go through them. Sole proprietor. Now the sole proprietor, the way that you file is you'll file on your individual income tax return. You'll file on your Form 1040, which is your individual return, on Schedule C, which is listing out your profits and losses for your business. And that income will flow into your return. You'll pay tax on it. You'll also have to pay self-employment tax, which is both the employee and the employer proportion of Social Security and Medicare, just so you know that as well. You can also become a S-Corp, it's called an S-Corp, like a small corporation. It's technically subchapter S of the Internal Revenue Code. We'll go into that later. And you file a Form an 1120S. And that 1120S you'll get a K1 with it. That's another form, and all that has is your piece of the profits of that business. Now, if you own 100% of it, it flows to your return. A C Corp is another thing that you can do, and unlike the sole proprietor or the S Corp, this isn't like an S Corp, the income passes to you. C Corp, it doesn't, it stays in the corporation. I have very rarely seen anybody do a C Corp that owns it. Like I very rarely come across it, if at all. I can't even remember, to be honest. So most of the time people will either be taxed as a sole proprietor or an S Corp. Now, how does this play out? Legally, if you're a sole proprietor, you can only file as a sole proprietor. That's it. But if you're a single member LLC, you have an option. You can file as a sole proprietor. You can elect to be an S Corp, and I'll put the form number that you file in the caption. Or you can be a C Corp, a regular corporation. Again, you have that option. So which option is best for you? Well, it depends on your tax situation. It depends on your income and loss. It depends on your profit. It depends on all of that stuff. And so you have to kind of run through it with your CPA and to see what is best for you. But again, a single member LLC can file as any one of these 3. Now you notice there's no separate LLC return. LLCs don't have a separate return. Now some states might, like California and Tennessee do, but for federal, it's the same. Like if you become a single member LLC, by default, you would file as a sole proprietor unless you fill out a form to be taxed as an S or a C Corp. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. My whole point is to remind you guys, legal and tax. An LLC is a legal construct. It has nothing to do with tax. So I want to make sure that I made that point. And again, like I can do one if people want on partnerships or corporations, we can go into more detail, but I just wanted to get this out here to clear the air. So again, if you guys get a lot of value out of my content, share this video with your friends, like it, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to do more great content like this. You all have a great day.